A warm welcome to all our viewers to this interaction with a very special guest that we have today. I would like to introduce you to a rising star in the field of cybersecurity. I wouldn't be wrong to say that she's on her way to be a global star. We have with us Dr. Sarita Arun Kumar Ni Shetty. If I were to introduce her formally, she is the IBM Public Cloud Worldwide Technical Leader for Security. That long descriptive title doesn't say much about her amazing accomplishments. When I say a rising star, the accolades that she has received in the last decade are testament to it. She was awarded the Princess Royal Silver Medal in 2023 by the Royal College of Engineering, UK. She was one of the top 301 female tech trailblazers awarded by Business Cloud. She has been recognized as a highly commendable disruptor and top 100 most influential Black, Asian, and minority ethnic tech leaders in the UK. She is one among the top 50 most influential women in cybersecurity UK, top 100 Asian stars in UK Tech by asiantech.com. She is also a fellow of the British Computer Society, which is no mean achievement in itself. We are, of course, excited by her achievements, but more than that, we are particularly stoked to have her here with us today because this star, rising star, rose from Nitte. She was an alumna of the NMMIT Institute of Technology. She completed her BTech and then she went on to earn an MBA and also a PhD from the Nitte University College, London. Dr. Sarita has worked for nearly 20 years with IBM and she has developed deep technical expertise in security design, solutions, and digital governance in emerging areas such as cloud, blockchain, and biometrics. Dr. Sarita's contributions to developing security protocols for online communications, online transactions, and data storage have been very important in developing international cybersecurity open standards, open trade platform for business transactions, and her contributions have made an impact in applications for defense, national security, business, as well as all our day-to-day lives. Dr. Sarita, welcome to this session.
Thank you.
Dr. Sarita has been most recently in news for being the recipient of the Princess Royal Silver Medal, which is also referred to as the Oscars of engineering. In July 2023, she received this medal from Her Royal Highness Princess Anne, the sister of King Charles in London. This is a very prestigious recognition for engineers in UK. It celebrates outstanding contributions made to engineering by an early or mid-career engineer, which results in significant market exploitation. Congratulations, Dr. Sarita.
Thank you.
We requested Dr. Sarita to spend a little time with us to share her experiences of her amazing journey as a technical expert and as someone who has made an impact in her professional field, but more importantly, has made an impact to the society in general, and she has given much to her alma mater, NMMIT Institute of Technology, which we are very proud of. Dr. Sarita, we would like to hear, like I said, about your experiences. You have been a tremendously successful person, particularly for IBM. In fact, you've kind of become the face of IBM in many ways.
True.
Could you tell us a little bit about how this came about, your journey over the last 20 years?
True. So IBM was always a dream company to me. So back when I was in NMIT, a very close friend of mine, her relative was working in IBM. So she used to come to uni and she used to tell us about all of the cool things that he was doing in IBM. That is when the dream started. So this was back in 1996 to 2000, when I was still doing my engineering. So my first job wasn't with IBM. My first job was in ITI. So I spent 2000 to 2003 in ITI, and then there was an interview for IBM in Pune. And there I was, grabbed the opportunity, attended the interview, and I was given an offer in IBM Pune. So that was when I first started working for IBM in IBM Pune. Again, working in the space of cybersecurity. That was 2003, and here we are today, 2023, completing 20 years with IBM. But I want to add here that working for IBM has been amazing, mainly because I got to work in all different fields of security. Every time I thought of thinking about moving to a different job, I moved to a different department.
Wonderful.
So within IBM, I had the opportunity to start with becoming a security engineer. I then was a security architect, a senior security architect. I spent a few years working in research, within security research. I spent a few years working in the security strategy, risk and compliance area. I spent a few years working in tech sales also, and a few years working very closely with C-suite, that's CEO, CIO, CISOs, and board of directors, helping them be better prepared for security. So IBM has been that one place where I got to do everything by not moving out, but just by moving within the company, and also was able to do a lot of give back within the company too. So hence my journey with IBM, and you rightly said it, I have been an ambassador for IBM, and I'm proud to be still working with IBM. And I think most people say I'll retire in IBM, but let's see.
Yes, in fact, nowadays it's not fashionable to be in the same organization for a long time. I see young career aspirants jumping every year or so.
True.
But it's wonderful to see somebody who, for the right reasons, has stuck with the company and contributed in different ways to that organization.
I don't blame them, by the way. Maybe they work in a company for 2-3 years, they find something more exciting.
Correct.
Like if there was someone working in IBM UK in Hursley, which is very much in the outskirts and far away from London, when they get an opportunity in London, they jump at it because they want to live in London, which is more happening, more more places to go to in the evening. So I don't blame them, but I think you're right. I found all the right reasons to stay in IBM, because every time I think I was blessed with a lot of opportunities. So every time there was a new technology. So when biometrics came about, I had the opportunity to work on biometrics. When mobile security came about, I had the opportunity to work on projects in mobile security. When blockchain came about, I was given the opportunity to lead the first of a kind blockchain project in IBM, which was for 10 major banks, and I was the lead security architect. So I think every new emerging technology that came about, some way or the other, it fell in place for me. So that's how my journey in IBM continued, and I like taking up challenges. So I think within IBM I get loads of opportunities for new challenges every day.
Wonderful. I understand that some of the work that has come to the limelight with your recognition with the Royal Academy of Engineering. This involved working with a diverse variety of stakeholders, including Ministry of Defense, the US Army labs, industrialists, researchers in universities, etc. That must have been an amazing experience.
Yes, it was. So the project, so I got the award, the Princess Royal Silver Medal Award, for 2 of the main projects and few of the other things I do. But the 2 projects that I got the award for is, like you said, one is for the Ministry of Defense and US Army Research Lab. So there was a project called as ITA, International Technology Alliance. This was a project that involved industries and universities from UK and USA, and it was an open source project, which was, by the way, listed in the White House website as well as one of the very successful projects. And that allowed me to work with variety of industries, plus at the same time a variety of universities as well, on cutting edge research. So all of the research work that we did was adapted by the US and UK Ministry of Defense, not telling us exactly where and how, but they saw the fruit of the technology innovations that we did, and they used it a lot, which included things like trust assessment, things like location attestation, things like just to give a simple example, when there are men in the field, they want to get to the base station, right? But they cannot reveal their location, but they still have to get to the base station because they will be fighting, and then they want to come back they can't reveal their location, but they still need to get back. How does this happen? So a lot of security involved, at the same time a lot of innovation involved. So that is what the Ministry of Defense project ITA allowed me to do. The other project was which I was just mentioning a minute ago, blockchain project, which was for 10 major banks across Europe, and this was for making international trade easy, especially with open trade transaction. If we take a simple example, let's say you have sellers and buyers. Seller has his or her own bank, buyer has his or her own bank. So when a buyer places an order for thousands of fans or thousands of radiators, the amount was never coming to the buyer's account or the seller's account in time. But with open trade transaction and using blockchain technology and using cybersecurity at its core, we were able to show that we can have a complete track and trace. We can make sure that everything is tracked by the seller, by the buyer, by the seller's bank, by the buyer's bank from day one till the money comes to the account, which is complete transparency, but with blockchain as the underlying technology. I think that is another reason why the Royal Academy of Engineering and the UK Royal family saw this as a really good recognition in terms of making international trade easy and helping the UK defense as well. Those were the two main projects mainly for which the award was given.
Wonderful. So how did this the Princess Royal Award, how did it come about? I mean, did you anticipate it?
Not
was it
at
a
all.
surprise to you?
Yeah.
What is the process like?
Absolutely. It was a really big surprise. I never thought I would get the award. And it's been a long process, I think nearly for over a year. I was only told that my name was nominated back in August or September last year. That's all I knew, that my name was nominated. And this is not something that IBM does. This is something that was done by the Royal Academy of Engineering. So in the UK, we have something called as Royal Academy of Engineering. It's again, it's created by, back in the day, it was created by the royal family. So the Royal Academy of Engineering is a place for engineers from all background, from chemical to environment to IT to medicine. So all sorts of engineers, that's the place. So you have fellows of all of these different varieties of engineers in the Royal Academy of Engineering. And every year they have something called as the Princess Royal Silver Medal Award, which is given to people with excellence creating or making an impact to UK engineering mainly. And so when my name was nominated, I didn't know much about this award even. To be very frank, I had no clue what this award is about, and I had not read much about it. I knew very much about the Royal Academy of Engineering, but not about this award. So I think over the months from the time my name was nominated, there was a lot of process of finding out by themselves, by the Royal Academy of Engineering judges, what I do, talking to different people, talking to my clients, talking to the different organizations, trying to understand what impact I have made, along with so many other nominations that were in place, because mine was not the only nomination, as you know. So I think in the end they finally decided, they had 4 winners. So every year they come up with 4 winners. So I was one of the winner along with the other 3, and I'll tell you what their contribution was, so you get an idea. So the 2 of them were a couple, husband and wife, who came up with something called as bionic arm. So for children or for somebody who just has the limp and doesn't have an arm, they came up with a bionic arm, which is again a great contribution to UK engineering. And the other guy, James, he came up with an incubator. So when babies are born, sometimes they're not able to breathe. They are kept in an incubator. Usually incubators are in huge rooms, right? And he came up with an incubator which is portable, which he can assemble in less than 30 seconds. Wow. So that is the level of a competition that I was up against. And here I am on completely the other side in the space of cybersecurity, but having to make an impact. So I think everybody recognizes today that cybersecurity is a space which is of utmost importance. Many years ago, cybersecurity was always last in the agenda. Right? People would just use the default settings for security. Right. But today things have changed.
Many of us still do.
I'm not saying anything to that. But I think the change, I can definitely see the change. Organizations are much more welcoming in order to listen to us, talk to them about how to create best practices for security. So, so that's where I was. So I finally came to know that I've been given this award back in March. But I was told not to say anything about it till it's released in the press. The reason, because the award was going to be given by Her Royal Highness Princess Anne herself. I think it was the 11th of July when I got an email which said,
Mm-hmm.
Buckingham Palace has now approved this press release. And now I'm allowed to talk about it. And that's when
Mm-hmm.
it was released. The press release came out, and after that, I was allowed to talk about it. So I think it was a long, winded process of over a year. But to be fair, I think it's very difficult to come up with 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
In the UK, we have tremendous talent, and we have so many people who have done so many different things. Because whenever I go to different conferences or I do interviews with successful people in the space of cybersecurity, so I know what I'm up against. And so it was a very difficult process, I think, where I was not involved and I had nothing to do with the process in itself, which shows that it was very unbiased, right? So they had a very fair process of doing all of the judging, the nominations, and finally letting us know. But the day when it came, 13th of July, when the award was given to us, that was a very memorable day for me, I must say. Shaking hands with Princess Anne, talking to her about the work we do, and getting a view from her about how knowledgeable she was, and she was able to talk to us back about some of the work that is going on around in the world as well. So it was a really amazing experience to be
Interesting.
there.
Very interesting. Very
Thank
interesting
you.
experiences. Yes. Can you give us a kind of a peek into your typical workday? I mean, has it changed after your, this the royal recognition, so to say, or does it continue the same way? Have your responsibilities
No,
increased in a sense?
not really. I guess, I don't let the awards impact my work, if I can put it in a very modest way. I continue to do the work that I've been doing always. And in my career, I don't think there is a typical day. So one day I'm probably with clients all throughout the day. There could be probably one day where I'm creating assets for the technical team. So my role as a public cloud worldwide technical leader
Mm-hmm.
is a thought leader role,
Okay.
which is something where I'm responsible to make sure that all of the technical teams across the world in IBM can confidently talk about security to clients. If they cannot do it, it means I'm not doing my job properly. So I try to create a lot of assets, a lot of technical material, a lot of technical presentations and sessions where I enable the technical teams. I talk to them about products, capabilities, about security, and I show them how it can be done with the clients. There is another day when I am probably doing a lot of mentoring. I do a lot of mentoring. I love mentoring. I think we need to do more of that, and that's something that I've learned throughout my career. Having mentors is a great thing, and giving time to mentor others and helping others also grow with you is what gives me happiness. So I mentor. So there would be days when I'm doing mentoring sessions. Another thing I'm passionate about is innovation. So I have a lot of patents in my name, I think about 35 plus, but what gives me joy is getting others to patent. So I run a lot of patent workshops, patent jams, patent sessions, patent mentoring sessions, where I explain how to come up with an idea, how to create a patent, and then get people to submit ideas. So these are the variety of things I do as part of not a typical day, but as part of my role. And also there are days when I'm at a conference or at a university giving guest lectures. I do a lot of work with schools as well. I feel if we can make a difference to the younger generation, schools are the right times. Because in university, they've already made a choice, right?
Right.
They've already chosen their specific path. But schools are the right place because there we can change their mindset. So I try to go to schools and talk to them about how successful cybersecurity career can be. And we talk about STEM, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I try to motivate more kids to get into the STEM subjects and take that up. So that's kind of everything in what I do. There are more, but I think that's enough for now.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. Sarita, we are all very proud of you as an alumna of one of our colleges. So if I take you back to your student years at Nitte, what do you think, what aspects of your training at Nitte do you think has kind of helped you or made an impact in your career?
That's a very nice question, I must say. A lot of things. A short answer is a lot of things. I had a very good I still have a very good relationship with the then placement officer there, Shalini Sharma. We have been very closely connected, all of the students, I must say. And I was part of a number of things, personality development programs. So I think a lot of my character that you see today is because of those personality development programs that Shalini used to run in the university. I was very active in the university in terms of bringing external speakers, getting seminars, webinars, those sort of things organized. Mostly seminars. We didn't have webinars back when I was in engineering.
Right.
I just realized it as I said it. So it was mostly seminars and having those guest lectures. So I think I had that, I had that foundation where I would see external speakers. I would see the different topics they would cover. I'm very good with clients, talking to clients, and they listen to me. I think that came back from Nitte, because I would convince the speakers, I would bring them to university, and we would have sessions with them and then keep connected with them afterwards. So personality development programs, having these seminars from external speakers come to university. There were a lot of things that the placement office did back when we were in Nitte, which I think really helped me grow as an individual, plus also grow to be a team member, a team player. A lot of things I think I didn't have it when I came from PUC to Nitte, but it was that development programs that from day one was the induction program where we had to do, what was it called? Breaking the ice.
Breaking the ice, yes.
So breaking the ice, yes, icebreakers. From that to the very end where we were in 7th and 8th semesters trying to get companies coming to the university, where we had to be so active and engaged and be out there and show how capable you are. So all of those things I think definitely made a change. I was very active in Nitte when I was right from I think the first semester. I was part of a number of things like extracurricular activities. I was into literature clubs, a lot of co-curricular activities, was part of my everyday lifestyle there. And it was mostly because there was a constant push from the teachers. There was a constant push from the placement office. There was a constant push from the head of the department as well. I remember our head of the department back then was S.Y. Kulkarni, and he was constantly there to motivate us, talk to us about various things that we could, not just staying in a box, but thinking beyond and outside the box. I think that helped me and a lot of my friends who were all in the same batch. I can really say or speak for them as well. All of that really helped us grow and become, once we got out of the university in 2000 and out there in the world, right? The first time stepping out and joining a company, it's very intimidating. It's very difficult to be in that shell and then be sent out. But I think all of the things that was taught to us and the preparation that was given to us really, in a lot of ways, helped me what I am today. And I don't say it just for the sake of saying it. I really mean it because I feel that way.
That's interesting. Many of the things that you talked about are actually more kind of co-curricular or extracurricular activities that you feel have impacted you more than the core curricular activities.
Yes.
Which I think many of us relate to that because what we learn in classrooms and labs is something that we take kind of assimilate unknowingly.
Correct.
But it is these additional things that kind of leave a long-lasting impact on you.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a great insight for us. Yes.
True. Is that, I don't know if is that a nice thing or not a nice thing?
No, it is not. I mean,
I think sometimes different things make an impact, right?
Yeah, the two things are equally important. And what I meant was the curricular activities are so much an integral part of your training.
True.
They don't stand out to you after many years of when you look back at it. It's the co-curricular and extracurricular activities that probably kind of leave an impact on you.
True.
That's interesting.
I think so.
Is there any one incident or anecdote that you remember that kind of really brings out the essence of student life in Nitte?
There are lots of things. I wouldn't say there is one or two. There are lots of occasions, and mainly because I was involved in a lot of these literary activities. And I think it was the second or the third semester, and you're not allowed to be the literary head, I think, in those early semesters. It's mostly the 7th or 8th semester students that get that opportunity. But for some reason, I think I was not the leader, but I think I was the co-leader or the co-chair. And I was given the opportunity. Mic is my addiction, by the way. So I can't let go of it if I get it. So I think when I was a baby, my mom gave the mic to me, and I think it's still there. That's still there.
It's still in your hands.
Yes.
There's a imaginary
Unknowingly.
mic in your hand always. Yeah.
Unknowingly, there's always, yeah. So so these literary competitions, I think I was hosting a lot of these, which made me stay back after school, after the classes, and it used to go on late in the evenings. It was really nice to see the whole university come together for these things. I think that really had a very big impact on me, to see that the different departments, like, you know, you have computers competing with ENC, with IP, and so on. So the different departments coming together, but all of the students putting in so much effort, whether it's writing essays, whether it's extempore talking, or whether it's you know, coming up with something crazy and having to just enact all of that. So, but running those events, again, I think that really helped me coming back to working in an organization and being all over Europe and all over US. I have been in a room full of men and full of experienced people, but I think I never felt like shy, or I think those days, that you know, being in front of the whole university and holding the mic and being able to talk, I think that really helped me be in front of all sorts of stakeholders. I don't have that that nervousness when I talk to a CEO or a C-level or a board of director, because I think because of that foundation.
Right.
So unknowingly, there is that huge impact that you know, that's played a big part in my life. That's why I keep saying that it's definitely made a big impact in my life. And it was just one of the events. There are a lot more, but I think that is a really good example to show that how that kind of can transform into an organization. And when you're in front of thousands of people or tens of thousands of people, and you can just take over the floor.
True. Yes, so Dr. Sarita, of course, we are proud of her because of her achievements, there's no doubt about it. But another reason that Dr. Sarita is very close to, you know, the NMM Institute of Technology and Nitte University is for the fact that as an alumna, she has really come back and, you know, done a lot for the current and past students of our university. And this is not just limited to, you know, academic interactions. She has, I know that she has done a lot, not only at our university, but she also interacts with other students and other young career professionals and mentors them. We would like to hear from you some of the things that you have done specifically for Nitte University.
Sure.
And you know, how that we see the impact of that on the students. But has that kind of you know, in some way molded you or impacted you?
I think it's something that gives me happiness and satisfaction, and I think the more I do it, I feel I need to do more. Probably I'm not doing enough. I think that's the feeling I'm left with every time. So there are a few things I can mention here that we've done back in, you know, I think since many years now. There's one program where, again, this was something that Shalini Sharma and myself, we organized it together, where we got a few of the final year students and then got them to have a very interactive session with me. So it was an open and candid discussion where they were allowed to ask any sort of questions that they had, because they were just stepping out of the university and going into starting their career. So a lot of questions, a lot of doubts. And this was one of the sessions which was live again, where
this was a round table in the time of
absolutely
COVID.
yes, yeah, round table where they were allowed to ask any questions, they were allowed to speak their mind, and great set of students, I must say. And I felt bad we couldn't accommodate more. We had, I think, about 15 or 20 of them, but it was a really nice interaction. That was one of them. There were a few other occasions where I've been to the university and also done online guest lectures on cryptography, on blockchain, on cybersecurity. Again, going very close to, I think, 6th, 7th and 8th semester students and giving them a feel of what can be achieved in the space of security. What are some of the I was showing some practical demonstration of some of the work that I've been doing, just to help them understand what's out there, what they can see. And I do have, from time to time, a lot of them have kept in touch with me, so they connect with me on LinkedIn. I would say the same to the audience. Connect with me on LinkedIn. You can look me up, Sarita, Dr. Sarita Arun Kumar, and happy to connect and answer any questions. But yeah, I keep connected with them, and some of them still ask for mentoring help. So I give them mentoring help. Some of them ask me to help them with a job in IBM. I try and help where possible. It's not always possible. But I think career advisors, I love to do that. So these are some of the things that I've done. There could be many more which probably skipped my mind. But having said that, genuinely, I would like to do more. So if there is any other opportunity, do let me know and I'll be happy to be there.
That's wonderful. We really appreciate what you have done for the university, and uh, you're a kind of an example for what alumni can do for the alma mater. Thank you so much for that.
My pleasure. I think we should have more people doing this. The more people that connect with the university, I think it's just
Yes.
a happy big community and we all grow together, right?
Right.
So I think it's a good thing to do.
So back in the late 90s, when you were a student at NMMIT, NMMIT was part of a state technology university, a kind of a monodisciplinary university.
True.
In the last couple of years, NMMIT has now become part of the Nitte deemed to be university, which is a multidisciplinary university. Now we have programs ranging from health sciences to communication, architecture, engineering, of course, management, and almost the entire gamut of academic disciplines. Do you think that this kind of being part of a multidisciplinary university, is it going to be different, and is it going to be beneficial for students of this age?
It's definitely different, and I envy the students of today who have that opportunity, unlike us. And I think it's a great thing. It's absolutely beneficial, and I feel there are a few reasons for that. One is the students will get to see all of the different things happening around different disciplines, right? It's not just, so I think when we studied engineering, we were just a closed community of just all engineering, electronics, computers, IP, mechanical, and so on. So it was just us, and the world revolved around the engineering degrees and engineering departments. I think having this exposure, getting to see the other sides like architecture, like communication, like you said, like medical sciences, like physiology or nursing. So all of these, I think it just expands, broadens the mindset of the students as well, and it gives them an opportunity to think about a simple example, how to apply engineering to nursing, how to apply engineering to architecture. I'm giving engineering as an example with my background.
Right,
So
yes.
how to apply engineering to communication, right? Seeing all of this multidisciplinary aspects come together in Nitte, I think it's a real advantage and a value to the students today, and they should really make use of that, is what I feel. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. That's the reason why we're doing this,
Yes.
bringing different disciplines under one roof.
True.
And, for most of us, we realize that as we start working, the kind of enrichment that comes from interacting with experts from other fields is something that is really kind of drives you to do better for yourself. And if we can provide this kind of opportunities at the student life itself, it's going to make a big difference for students.
It does. And as you just mentioned that, I just thought about one of the things I adapt. So when I run these innovation workshops, these patent jams, I always so we always do groups of 4. I always try to put 4 people from different departments with different backgrounds together, because I see more, I call it cross-pollination. So the cross-pollination is so much better when you put 4 people who are working in the same department on the same project. Every day they are together. The innovation that comes out there is not as good as the innovation that comes from 4 people who are coming from different backgrounds.
True. Yes, Dr. Sarita, you come across as a very cheerful and happy person. So if I may ask you, what does happiness mean to you? What gives you happiness?
A few things. Number one is making others happy. Actually, this has been the case right from childhood. Making someone else happy gives me happiness. Every time I come off a client conversations, I'm happy because I'm solving the client's problem. So I go in sometimes to a meeting with a client with a migraine on. When I come after the meeting, the migraine is gone. That's your answer.
So others' problems give you happiness because you can solve
Oh
them.
dear, no. That's not how I would put it. But yeah, helping
I
others,
understand
and
that, yes.
yeah, it really
I can
gives.
relate to that. Just like doctors derive happiness from helping people
True.
with their, getting better from their health issues. So in a way, but what you say is very true. When the happiness comes from helping others, there is no end to it. It's
very
endless
true.
source for happiness.
I think
Excellent,
that's why I do a lot of give back as well, because I think nobody asks me to do this. Like in IBM, nobody tells do give back or so on. It just naturally helps me I feel every day I feel better if I'm doing more, giving back to the community, giving back to the society, trying to help more people grow. It somehow I think gives me more motivation as well. So it's probably it's a selfish means as well to keep myself happy, but at the same time to have more people have a career like me, pick up the STEM subjects like I have done, and get more people to identify those. It just makes me happy.
So you've obviously had a very successful career so far, and I'm sure that like many other successful people, you wear many hats. You have to balance work, and you have to balance your home life, personal life. Any tips on how you manage to do that so well?
I'm not perfect. You have to ask my husband and my son about this. But I think I have a very, very loving husband, a very supportive companion. He's been. Um, when I used to do my PhD, I used to come back home, and he would want to go out, but I had to sit and study, and he would encourage me. He would motivate me. But when we moved to the UK back in 2005, my role was cross-band consultant across Europe. Every week I was in a different country. Finland one week, Sweden one week, Switzerland another week. I would come back on a Friday exhausted, and Monday morning I'd have to pack my bags, or sometimes Sunday evening I'd pack my bags and travel to another country. I was really exhausted. The visibility was great, but Arun was constantly there for me to say, this is great. You're actually getting so much recognition. The work you're doing is amazing. So he's been always encouraging me, motivating me. I was pregnant when I was doing my PhD as well, so I had to take a 9 months gap between my PhD too. But I completed my PhD even after having a baby, which means there has to be somebody supporting me at home, right? So he's been very supportive. My son, on the other hand, has been very naughty, and as most boys are, but he's a loving child. He just, I think, every day after work, bringing him back home, getting to hear from him about all the great things he does at school, and having him talk about security really gives us that happiness that we are doing something right. So he comes and says, Mama, on my phone I got a message. If it was anybody else, they would have clicked on it. Because you're in security, I didn't click on that link. I think we must be doing something right. But yeah, both my husband and my son are my supporting pillars. My parents, before I was married, my parents have nurtured me. So I think Nitte is one place which I give a lot of credit to for what I am today. And my parents, of course, are the second pillars for me, because I think the way they have brought me up, the environment, the discipline, the lifestyle is really taken me to where I am today. So even though we are in UK, we try to keep close to our roots. That is because of how they have brought us up, I think. So wearing different hats is very challenging, but I try to keep a balance of being a good wife, a good mother, a good sister, a good daughter-in-law, and many other hats. But it's something that is very difficult, and I think it's an experience, and it's a learning on an everyday basis. So I'm not saying I'm perfect at all. I'm just trying to do my best. That's all.
Wonderful. If you were to look back at your years at school, especially engineering school, is there anything that you wish that would be different or could have been different, which would probably make you a little more comfortable with what you're doing today?
I think I wouldn't change
You
anything
wouldn't change
about
anything
my
at all.
days in engineering. Not a single thing. Of course, today's kids have more opportunities, more technology awareness, more exposure. But I think I would not change a single thing about what we had. We had the luxury of living our life without too much influence of technology and a lot of other things, which kept us very naive at times. That innocence was still there at that time. And I think we had our life the way I think I would have liked it. So I wouldn't change a single thing about it at all. I don't know if everybody would agree, but I wouldn't change a single thing about it. I think those were the best days of my life, of my school life. So I wouldn't change a thing about it.
Is there any advice that you would like to give to our current students, prospective students?
Sure, yeah. Probably few of them, I'd say 2 or 3. So my first tip to the students would be keep yourselves up to date, right? Whatever area of technology or whatever area you're interested in, try to stay current. Try to learn about it. There's so much resources today that's available out there, right? It's just a click away, as they say it. So make use of all of the things that's available, the resources that the institutions provide you. I'm sure there's so much that the institution itself provides the students today. So make use of all of that, and try to stay current, and try to cultivate that interest in challenging yourself, in learning about what's out there, and trying to do a little bit more than what you're asked for. I think that is what gives you an edge. The second thing I'd like to say is, I mean, today your students and you're learning, and you have your teachers, your professors, and so on. Try to have your professors and your teachers as your mentors. I think they are the best people to learn from because of their experience, because of what they bring. A lot of times the teachers and professors are taken for granted, right? Teaching even today is a very noble profession according to me, and there is a lot of selflessness in what the teachers do, right? They do it with true passion. So I think taking time to acknowledge that, number one, plus also sitting with them and trying to understand from their experience as to what can help you as you start your career is absolutely key, which is in line with mentoring. Yeah, so my first tip was around keeping current. The second one is around mentoring. So have your teachers and your professors as mentors, which will then help you when you get into a job to have someone as your mentor in your career as well. So you can keep your teachers and professors as your mentors, but when you go to a new company with your first job, also look up to somebody as your career mentor, you know, your in your job, right? Who you can think about becoming. Who do you aspire to be like? Maybe there's somebody in the company that you aspire to be like. Because back in 2003 and 4, when I joined IBM, there was a lady called Mary Ellen Zurko. We used to call her Maze. She knew it was stable in Hindi, but that was her name. And she was the STSM, Senior Technical Staff Member in IBM Boston. And I was in Boston for 6 months, and I wanted to be Ms. I wanted to be Mary Ellen Zurko because she was the top security technical person I had seen in IBM. So I had her as my career mentor, and I looked up to her. So this is why, you know, I would like to tell the students, you know, when you join a company or wherever it is you're going to be working, have someone as your mentor there and continue that relationship with the mentor. And mentor is for life. So Mary was my mentor back in 2003-4. But I have mentors, many more mentors after that. So, and I like to have mentors of my level, couple levels above me, and also I mentor people who are, you know, in their early careers as well, because it's called cross mentoring. So that's another important tip I'd like to give the students. The third thing, if I may, is always look for opportunity to give back. I think giving back is something that will really help you grow more. And giving back can be done in many ways, right? If you're expert in a topic, do a talk on it. Do a lunch and learn session, you know, to some of the students. You can start with a student gathering, doing a lunch and learn, which will help you when you start your career as well. You know, talking about your experience, sharing the knowledge with a small group, which then can grow into becoming a bigger group. Internal eminence and external eminence is equally important as you're growing. So as you start your career, think about both internal eminence, which is within your setup, within your department, trying to do talks. At the same time, externally, how well do people outside your company, outside your group know you? And that's another thing. So these are like my few tips that students can adapt to.
That's great. Wonderful advice, very thoughtful, and I'm sure our students will greatly benefit from this advice.
I hope so.
Dr. Sarita, thank you so much for your time. It's been a wonderful interaction with you. I'm sure that you'll continue to grow in your career and in your personal life. I'm sure that we at Nitte and the world at large will hear more and more about you. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
For a successful future. And we hope to stay connected with you with the same level of intensity, if not more, in the coming years.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity once again to Nitte and to you, Dr. Harsha, for spending time with me. Thank you once again. And yeah, connect with me if you want to speak to me, or connect with me if you want to learn more. Any mentoring advice, always there for you. Thank you once again, and hats off to Nitte.